Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing, bitches banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, bang, oh, bang, bang, bitch, nigga, bang, 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 bang.
Yo, peace. What's going on? What's happening? I wanted to come up here real quick, just to do a system breakdown of what's happening tonight, as well as do a bit of breaking news. So first and foremost, there will be a Thought Box Live tonight. I struggled with if I wanted to do a TFP tonight. I'm not going to bring TFP back until I finish everything that I want to do with creation of the TFP channel, which right now, if I had to guess and give you an estimate of when that's going to be, it's probably going to be 2 weeks from tonight. I don't know the exact date of when that is. I have to look at it. Maybe I'll give another system breakdown tonight and let y'all know exactly what's what. But it's going to be a totally different new format of how I want to go forward with TFP. But I am doing Thought Box Live tonight, by hook or by crook, solo or teamed up. It'll be Thought Box Live tonight. I'm not going to give exact time of when that's going to be because I don't know when I'm going to be back tonight. But it's going to be tonight. It's not going to be super late. At the latest, 8 o'clock. If I'm done before then, it'll be before then. But I want to make sure I finish doing all what I got to do tonight so I can be ready and up in the morning so I can do my runs and get back home. So, there's that. And me or the team, we'll be talking about the primaries and how everything went. I mean, they're all pretty much done. I think it's a couple of states that's still doing primaries right now. I believe like New Hampshire and I think Massachusetts just got finished. But the main primaries of the races that got the microscope on them, they're finished. So we're going to discuss those both on the Democratic and Republican side. I don't do ultra partisanship over here on MD20. So, we'll talk about that. I just saw some reports that concern me. If anybody can get in touch with Black Sun, I probably should have tagged him in this, but I just hurry up and went live. I'll probably make a post later with this video. And, again, if I glitch out, I'm on the road. It is what it is. I'm on 285 in traffic in rush hour. So just bear with me. but I might discuss this a little further because I'm essentially be shooting the shit. I'm probably gonna get on beforehand before anybody else does, just to talk about and discuss some things that are pertinent right now that don't necessarily have to do with the primaries anyway. Because our politics is in shambles. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, I'll let y'all decide what's what. But I just saw a report from Bloomberg that at the very least is troubling. That's at the very least. I'm saying it's more than that. Bloomberg just came out with a report talking about Russia escalating to another level in Ukraine. Now, if y'all didn't see the news yesterday, there was a surprise meeting. John Ratcliffe, director of CIA, there was an announcement. Nobody from the administration announced it. John Ratcliffe visited Moscow yesterday in a big C-7 plane. If anybody knows what a C-7 is, it's basically a transporter, a cargo transporter. It's a huge fucking plane. Again, I believe the reason they used the C-7 was to transport the motorcade to Moscow to get there, essentially. I don't think they used, I could be wrong, but I don't think they used any Russian official vehicles for the motorcade for John Ratcliffe and his team, right? I don't think they used it. I think they brought their own motorcade there. John Ratcliffe, head of CIA, did a pop-up meeting with Russian officials. He didn't meet with Putin directly. I don't know if it was anybody prominent from the Kremlin that met with John Ratcliffe. I don't know who it was. I have to get a report that further details it. But he met with officials from the Kremlin yesterday. Nobody knew what they was meeting about. Later on, after they left, Axios came out with a report saying the meeting was about quelling any further escalation with Ukraine and possibly any other NATO country. Blah, blah, blah. Like I said, we'll get into it later on tonight. A little bit after that, a video emerged. For now, I'm going to call it unconfirmed. Some prominent media, international geopolitical media pundits say they have confirmed it. But for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say unconfirmed because I'm not a journalist. I'm not glued in to geopolitics like that enough to know that at the embassy in Moscow, the U.S. flag was taken down later on that night. Today, another report came out again, like I said, by Bloomberg, said that speculation was going around by some of their sources at Bloomberg that details of the conversations that were had between the Kremlin and John Ratcliffe was at a dire point, to the point where Putin is becoming desperate in his ultimate goal in Ukraine and is thinking as a last resort using tactical nuclear weapons. As a last resort, let me put that caveat in there. Either way, it's fucked. Either way. Now, as a procurer of information, you got to ask yourself a logical question. We went from, in 2022, Russia having the capacity to take the entire Donbass region, long term in a matter of weeks. If we're just looking at it point for point, military ability versus military ability, it should have been a matter of days at the most. We went from that to a war of attrition to frontline combat to now advanced technological drone warfare to now Ukraine being studied, and they will be for decades to come in terms of strategic warfare when it comes to drones. We haven't seen no shit like this. The Russian economy being in shambles, despite what anybody tell you, like, that's a fact. To now Putin, one of the great superpowers of the world, coming to an ultimate decision, last resort, tactical nuclear weapons. Just saw another report came out by Axios said of Trump, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and who else was there? Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Razor Kane. Basically, Trump being briefed on what the situation is in Russia right now. Then another report came out. I just saw it just now. Poland is mobilizing tanks on the border, on its I guess this will be the southeastern border. And nobody really knows why. Something is about to happen. Now again, we got Taco on our side. That's just a fact. We got Taco on our side. If there was any point in time where we needed Taco, we need Taco right now. Trump needs to figure out a way. Like I said, this don't mean that he needs to throw Ukraine under the bus. I mean, he really can't do that because the coalition of the willing got Ukraine's back, despite what anybody else would think the U.S.'s relationship should be with Ukraine. Fuck that. That relationship don't matter at this point. The card that Trump holds is Taco, the Taco card. And, you know, Trump liked to do shit like this because he'd like to take credit for stuff. So Trump's definitely try to take credit for this one, is what I'm telling you. Trump needs to figure out a way to quell this shit, nip this shit in the bud right now. That don't mean that he needs to pressure Ukraine to concede. That's not what that's not gonna happen. Trump needs to figure out a way to quell the pressure ultimately Russia wants to put on the rest of the world via NATO. Because if it was the other way around, Trump would be fucked. What would be the position of the United States right now if Russia attacked a NATO country? What would be the position? Again, take your bias out of your head, only for a second. Only for a second. I don't give a shit what you think about NATO, what you believe. It ain't got nothing to do with it right now. We can only live in this moment. What would happen, despite your bias, if Russia attacked a NATO country right now? What would happen? Then when you come up with that answer, then you must say, okay, what would be the logical guardrail for that not to happen? And then we can run with that. We can go with some commonality as far as our opposing positions from there. Nobody wants to see all-out war in Europe. Nobody wants to see it. All the other shit that we argue about, that'll get thrown out the window. if we have World War III, you kill all that shit. It don't matter. Don't matter. You kill it. Something is coming down the pipe, is what I'm telling you. Something's coming down the pipe. I have all these sources tonight on MD's Thought Box Live. Like I said again, I might start a little early, and just run through them before my co-hosts get there, and we'll just talk about that. Then once my co-hosts get the primaries and the midterm battles ahead. But this is important. And to not think it's not, hey man, your priorities are fucked. I'm interested to hear Black Sun's take on all of this. Is a person like Black Sun willing to put his biases aside and think rational on all of this shit? Because again, it's no excuse right now. The guy's in office. The guy's in office. Are you willing to take your sources and cross-reference them with mine? Like I said, I don't bank on one source. I don't do shit. Anybody that knows me know I don't operate that way. But I know Black Sun does. But at some point in time, you got to learn to like cut the bullshit out. If this shit jump off the way that I think it's gonna jump off, you lefty loonies talking about Israel and Palestine, that shit don't matter no more. I'm telling you, it don't matter. I'm telling you, it don't matter. You MAGA maniacs talking about transgender for everybody, that shit don't matter no more. It just don't. Any aspirations that you had in the midterms going into 2028, throw that shit out the window if it go down. I'm telling you that now. Throw it out the window. Peace, Apex. What's up, man? So I'm telling you, if you didn't hear in the beginning, Apex, a report just came out today saying that it's looking to get serious in Ukraine right now. It's looking to get serious. And there are meetings being had at the White House and in the Pentagon about what's to come. Right now as we speak. Trump just had an emergency meeting at the White House with the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, Raising Cane, Pete Hegseth. I don't know if JD, they ain't mentioned JD. Ain't no telling where the hell he at. And who else was there? Oh, John Ratcliffe, head of the CIA. Something is about to happen, and I hope Trump has the wherewithal to stop it. I hope he has the wherewithal to stop it. Because we're not playing left and right politics no more. We ain't playing ultra partisan, orange man bad, radical left lunatics. We're not throw it out the window. If the bombs start flying, throw it out the window. We're just not. Stuff is gonna get down to brass tacks at that point. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't acknowledge that we got a madman in office right now. I mean, of course. It's not to say that. But you know, again, if the bombs start flying, you're talking. It's like a canary in the mine type situation. You know. That's just what it is. You're shitting down the well. It's a drop in the bucket. Yeah, I'll be talking about, because I'm doing a show tonight, Apex. So tune in tonight, and I give further detail. I give further detail. So that's where we at right now. That's where we at. Like I said, I just saw the reports coming out. I knew about the meeting yesterday. And funny enough, Black Sun did a video yesterday talking about Russia and Ukraine, but it wasn't in regards to this. You know, Black Sun like to do his bias analysis. It ain't the time for that right now. It ain't the time for that right now. Not at all. It's not the time for that. This is obviously serious enough where the head of the Central Intelligence Agency needed to go to Moscow directly and see what the fuck was going on. The last time the head of the CIA went to Moscow during Biden's administration to try to get Putin not to attack Ukraine in the first fucking place, directly mainland. So it's not uncharted territory, but we got historical precedent. That's where we at. That's where we at, man. So, oh boy. Hey, man. You know, I hope I can get in. Me and Black Sun need to do a video on this. And like I said, not no bullshit debate. Source counter source. Let's deal with the facts. Let's just deal with the facts. Because this indicates all of us. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at, man. I just wanted to come up with that emergency announcement. Again, MD's Thought Box Live tonight, technically at 8 o'clock, but I'm probably going to start before that. Probably going to start before that because I got something new that I want to do. I want to make sure that I get it right. I want to make sure I inform everybody on what's going on, and that's what it is. That's what it is. So, you know, give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. You know, even if it's still kind of sort of a solo venture, in which in many aspects it will be, I just want to make sure I square it away with my co-host so they at least know what's going on. But I'm in the process. I'm in the works on a new channel and all of that shit. So that's where we at, man. That's where we at. That's where we at, man. So, but But I'll let y'all know what's what, man. I just want to come up and see that. I'm about to go check the news and see if there's anything new that came out. So y'all know how I do. And I got multiple sources. So as I sit in traffic trying to get back to Gainesville. So that's what's good, man. But good to hear from you though, Apex. Hopefully you can be a part of this new venture as well. Like I said, I'll get in contact with you, and because you know everybody keep talking about God and government bringing it back. I'm thinking about that too. But like I said, I gotta come up with a reasonable enough schedule that's gonna suit everybody. That's probably the hardest part. But at the same time, I don't really want to rely on nobody, you know, because I'm not. Not to say that I'm not reliable. I mean, I got work life just like everybody else do, but I want to make sure it's suitable for everybody. So, but hey, with that being said, man, I'll see y'all tonight. Let me try to work my way on 85 and head up to the north side. With that, hey, peace, y'all.
We